So this is just my part. You also have one question from Tyrone Hayes' lecture, and also the rest of the questions will be from Wally's lecture. Okay, fair enough? Also, I will not post these questions online, okay? I had many people ask me that in the past. If you come to my office hours, don't ask me to just repeat all the questions and answers to the exam again, okay? I will not do that, okay? So this is your only shot to get all this information. Okay, so in 2013, the Syrian president, Bashar al-Assad, used organophosphorus chemical warfare agent, sarin, against his own population. What immediate symptoms arise from exposure to sarin? So tremoring, convulsions, seizures, excessive tearing, salivation, and death, right? What is the molecular target that sarin inhibits in the nervous system? Acetylcholinesterase, right? What happens when you inhibit this molecular target? So acetylcholine levels rise and hyperstimulate acetylcholine receptors, right? What is the mechanism underlying the sarin-induced symptoms? So acetylcholinesterase inhibition leads to acetylcholine levels rising. It hyperstimulates the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors to cause seizures and convulsions, right? It hyperstimulates the muscarinic acetylcholine receptors to overstimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which gives rise to the salivation and tearing and defecation and urination and all of that, right? Any questions about that? Okay. What is the mechanism for which people die of sarin poisoning through respiratory paralysis? So the elevated acetylcholine overstimulating the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors eventually causes desensitization of those receptors, right? And that leads to a complete loss of neurotransmission and leads to diaphragmatic paralysis and respiratory paralysis and death. All right, acetylcholinesterase inhibitors are also used to treat symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Answer the following questions. Why would acetylcholinesterase inhibitors improve memory in Alzheimer's patients? So you're inhibiting acetylcholinesterase in Alzheimer's patients who have lost acetylcholine-producing neurons. That elevates the levels of whatever little acetylcholine they have left to stimulate those acetylcholine receptors to improve memory, right? What is an antidote for organophosphorus poisoning? Anyone? Atropine, right? You're studying for the NST11 exam and you're getting tired. You decide that you need some more energy and decide to take some cocaine. So you go to People's Park and buy some from a local dealer. After taking your first non-overdosing level of cocaine, what symptoms do you experience? So that's increased activity, talkativeness, euphoria, increased heart and respiratory rate, and reduced fatigue. You eventually become addicted to cocaine, needing to take more and more cocaine to get the same response. What neurotransmitter is responsible for the reinforcing behavior? Anyone? Dopamine, right. What is one of the mechanisms through which addiction happens with various drugs of abuse? How does addiction happen to these drugs? Anyone? Yeah, so the really high release of dopamine, right, overstimulates dopamine receptors, leading to dopamine receptor desensitization, right? So that the next time you take the drug and you release dopamine, there aren't that as many dopamine receptors there to stimulate, so you get less happy from that, right? So you need to take more drug to try to get to the same happiness. How does cocaine work? So cocaine works by inhibiting the reuptake transporters for dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, right? And that leads to a huge elevation in epinephrine, dopamine, and norepinephrine, and that leads to overstimulation of those receptors and all the effects that it causes. Any questions so far? Okay, Seldane was marketed as an antihistamine, anti-allergenic drug, but it turned out to also cause heart attacks and cardiac arrhythmias and was taken off the market. Was this toxic side effect an on or off target effect, and what was the mechanism for toxicity? So Seldane was an antihistamine, right, but it caused heart attacks. So was that an on or off target effect? Off target. And what was the off target in that case? The caused heart attacks? ERG channel. Yeah, HERG channel. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin and ibuprofen are used widely to reduce fever and inflammation, but they also cause gastrointestinal side effects. Are these GI toxicity effects on or off target? What do you guys think?
On.
Off. Sorry, what? On. Yes. Sorry, I almost said off. Okay. On target toxicity, and what is both therapeutic and also the GI toxicity causing target of these? COX-1 and COX-2. Cyclooxygenase COX-1 and COX-2. Benadryl is prescribed as an anti-allergenic agent, but also causes drowsiness. How do the anti-allergenic and drowsiness effects happen? And is the drowsiness an on or off target effect? So, what is it? On target, and what's the target of Benadryl for causing drowsiness and anti-allergenic effects? Histamine receptor, and it's an antagonist for the histamine receptor, right? So histamine stimulates the histamine receptor and causes allergies. So Benadryl, Claritin, all of these drugs work by antagonizing the histamine receptor. Okay, thalidomide was a drug prescribed for morning sickness in pregnant women, but turned out to cause major birth defects, leading to infants being born with shortened limbs. What is the therapeutic target of thalidomide that caused the birth defects? So this is the therapeutic target. It's the GABA receptors, right? So stimulating GABA receptors will shut down or suppress neurotransmission, and that leads to alleviation of morning sickness. What is the mechanism that led to the birth defects? What was the target of that? Cereblon, right? So thalidomide binds to cereblon also, so that's an off target, and that leads to degradation and lowering of various growth factors required for, actually that's the answer to the next question, so I'll leave that. But basically, it shortens your limbs, right? Any questions about that? So the therapeutic target for thalidomide was GABA receptor stimulation, right? But the off target of thalidomide ended up being cereblon, which inhibited growth factors required for limb outgrowth. So how does thalidomide work as an anti-cancer agent? So it's made billions of dollars as an anti-cancer agent to be prescribed to non-pregnant women. Yeah?
It prevents blood vessels from developing tumors to spread the cancer cells around the body.
Exactly. It inhibits a process known as angiogenesis, right, which is the process of stimulating blood vessel growth. Okay, and those blood vessels are required as the tumor grows so that it can get the nutrients it needs to grow further, right? So thalidomide will inhibit angiogenesis, which is why it causes birth defects. But in a cancer cell, that's very, very bad for tumors because they can no longer grow blood vessels to supply nutrients to the tumor so that they can grow. Okay, so that's it. That's 17 questions for my part. Again, there are 15 questions from Wally's part and 1 question from Tyrone's part in addition to that. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, so